Hello, friends, and welcome back to this English learning podcast. Let me tell you a story today, a story about someone named Carlos. Carlos is from Mexico. He studied English for many years in school. He knew grammar, he knew vocabulary, and he even got good grades. He thought, I'm ready. If I ever go to the United States, I'll be fine. So one summer, Carlos traveled to Houston, Texas to visit his cousin. He was so excited. But when he landed at the airport, something happened that changed everything. At the immigration desk, the officer looked at him and said quickly, "Hey, how you doing? You here for vacation? Got your papers?" Carlos froze. He only heard how, doing, vacation, papers. He smiled nervously and gave his passport. He thought, wait, was that even English or some secret code? In that moment, Carlos realized something shocking. Textbook English and real-life English are not the same. Later, Carlos asked his cousin, "Why do Americans speak so fast?" His cousin laughed and said, "We don't speak fast, we connect words." Example from the cafe. Do you want to eat? You want to eat? Carlos heard wanna for the first time. He thought it was a new word, but no, it was just want to. The next morning, his cousin asked, "Jeet yet?" Carlos looked confused. Jeet? What's that? His cousin laughed. It means, did you eat yet? Carlos realized English speakers cut words like scissors cut paper. At a store, the cashier said, "That'll be $5.75. Carlos thought, what is that'll? Is that even English? Later, he learned it meant that will. At a party, someone said, "This song is fire." Carlos looked around for actual fire, but fire meant amazing. By the end of his first week, Carlos was so frustrated. He thought, maybe I will never understand native speakers. But this was just the beginning of his journey. Carlos decided to join an English club in Houston. There, he met Maria, a bilingual teacher. She told him, "Carlos, the secret is not grammar. The secret is training your ear. Let me show you how." Maria played a clip from the TV show Friends. Joey said, "How you doing?" She told Carlos, "Repeat exactly like an actor." At first, Carlos sounded robotic. "How are you doing?" Maria corrected him. "No, say it like Joey. How you doing?" Carlos laughed. He felt silly, but slowly his tongue began to move like a native. They watched a YouTube video at 0.75 speed. At a slow speed, Carlos could catch everything. Then they returned to normal speed, and suddenly it didn't feel impossible anymore. Maria played 20 seconds of an English podcast. Carlos wrote what he heard. First time, full of mistakes. By the third week, he was writing almost perfectly. Maria told him, "Don't hear words, hear chunks." Example, "Do you want to grab a bite later?" Carlos thought it was 7 words. Maria broke it into 2 chunks. "Do you wanna grab a bite later?" Now it was easier. One day, Carlos went to a restaurant. The waiter asked, "What you having today?" For the first time, Carlos understood. "What are you having today?" He smiled. His training was working. Maria gave him a challenge. Order coffee alone. At the cafe, the barista said, "Hey, what can I get ya?" Before Carlos would panic. But this time, he replied calmly, "A medium latte, please." The barista smiled. "For here or to go?" Carlos answered, "To go, thanks." He walked out with his coffee and thought, "I did it. I finally understood." Later, Carlos joined a local basketball game. His teammates shouted, "Nice shot, man. That's sick. You good?" At first, he thought sick meant someone was ill, but soon he understood sick is cool. He started learning slang directly from his friends on the court. After 3 months, Carlos was different. He could watch movies without subtitles. He could laugh at jokes. He could talk with confidence. And the secret? It wasn't more grammar. It was exposure, practice, and training his ear. So what is the secret to understanding native English speakers fast? It's not studying 100 grammar books. It's not memorizing thousands of words. The real secret is to train your ear daily with real conversations. Shadow natives. Slow things down and focus on meaning, not every single word. Carlos remembered his first day in Houston, frozen at the airport. Months later, he walked through the same airport. Someone said, "Hey man, how you doing? Flight's boarding soon." This time, Carlos understood every single word. He smiled and thought, "I did it. And you can too." So now I want to ask you, what's the hardest English phrase you've ever heard from a native speaker? Comment below. I'll use your stories in the next episode. And remember, every day you listen, you are one step closer to fluency. I'll see you next time.